everyone, so today's video is going to be a first impression review and it's going to be on the new Bondi Sands self-turning foam in Ultra Dark. Now if you're familiar with my channel, you may remember a couple of years ago I did a full-on review of the Bondi Sands foam tan in dark. So what I'm going to do today in this video is review this tan on its own and also compare it to the dark formula to see if there really is a difference and whether or not it's worthwhile in trying it. So just as a little background about me, I'm definitely not an avid tanner. I'm more of an occasional tanner. Like, I'll do it kind of when I feel like it, if there's an event happening or if I just want to look a bit darker. So I do have a fair amount of experience with tans, and in particular I like to pay attention to the way that they fade, the way that they apply, how sticky they may be, how they smell. So that's what I'm going to be focusing on in this video for this review. So I'll get right into it. So this is the new Ultra Dark Tan. Now you may notice side by side to the old one that there is some slight difference. This bottle here, which is the Ultra Dark, has pretty much mostly black on it. There's very little colour to the packaging. Also the Bondi Sands logo is gold. I don't know if you guys can see that, but it's gold versus the dark one, which is just a print. So that's the difference between the two. As you can see, it's very minimal. It's actually kind of hard to spot on the shelf, so you've really got to pay attention to what one you're picking up, but that's pretty much the difference between the two. They're also the exact same size, so they both have 200 mils in them, so realistically nothing much has changed between the bottles. However, it's important to note though that there is a price difference. So the dark tanning foam, which is their regular one, they also have a medium and a light, I believe. So for their regular tanning foam, which has been out for a couple of years, this one retails for $19.99. However, for the Ultra Dark tanning foam, which is the new one, this one retails for $24.99. So you're paying an extra $5 for the darker formula, which kind of surprised me. I thought they honestly would keep it within the same price range, so I guess that's my only downfall to this product so far, is that it's a little bit more expensive than the regular range. Now back to the actual tanning mousse itself. So this tan I used on Tuesday and it's currently Friday today, so I've had this tan on for a couple of days. I've showered a couple of times, I've exercised a couple of times, so I've really gone and worn it, if that makes sense. I haven't been gentle with it, I haven't been really careful. I've done everything that most normal people would do with a tan on. So after having it on for about 3 to 4 days, I can definitely already have a feel of it, and I definitely can tell you already that I love it. So now I'm going to flip you guys back to Tuesday where I applied it. So I filmed myself actually putting it on for the first time. I showed you putting it on my arms, my chest and my legs. So I'll show you guys that now. So that was me applying it on Tuesday, and honestly in terms of application I really didn't notice a massive difference between this and the regular dark one. Like, it wasn't easier, it wasn't harder. I'd say it was just pretty much the exact same in terms of formula. So with Bondi Sands it's very easy to apply. I find that it dries very quickly as well, so you're not sitting there having to kind of like stick your limbs out and stop yourself from sticking to one another. So if you've tried any of the other Bondi Sands tans, it's pretty much the exact same. It's the same quality. It's just a really great product overall for application. However, there are two notable differences between this and the old tan that I don't know if it's just my kind of opinion and my experience, but I definitely noticed a massive difference. So first one being the guide colour. Now obviously this one is darker than the other ones, but I found that the guide colour was a lot easier to work with because you could see it better. Now if you're not familiar with what a guide colour is, it's pretty much the colour that shows on your skin immediately, and it kind of shows you exactly where you're putting the product. So it's not the colour that you end up with, but it kind of just shows you exactly where you're putting the product. And I found that this one was a lot more opaque and darker, so I don't know if that's because it's the darker tan, but I just found it was easier and a lot more noticeable on my skin, so I could see if there was any patches that I had to touch up or anything. It was just, overall it was a lot easier in terms of the guide colour. Now the second difference, which is probably the biggest difference and the thing that I'm most impressed with, is the scent. Now Bondi Sands is known for their coconut scent, and I'm definitely a fan of that. However, once tans sit on your skin and they kind of cure and settle and just really start to develop, they can have that really horrible tanning smell. Particularly through the developing stage, it can get really stinky and pungent and strong, It just smells really off and musky and almost like body odor, whereas I didn't get that with this. And ironically, I actually went for a walk, so I went and exercised with this on while it was developing, and it still didn't stink. So that really surprised me. It was a really nice surprise. And I will say too that after washing it off and wearing it for the past couple of days, I don't have like that weird musky tan smell. It's just not there, and I don't know what it is. I don't know if they've changed the formula a little bit for this, but I don't get that horrible smell. Don't know why. Now, I'll quickly mention the developing stage, but I want to go back to that for a little second. Now, this ultra dark tan in particular says that you need to leave it on your skin for at least 6 hours. However, with the older dark tanning foam, it says that you need to leave it for up to 6 hours. So this one needs a minimum of 6 hours, this one needs a maximum of 6 hours. So there's a massive difference between these in terms of the development time. This one obviously takes a lot longer to develop. Now, with the dark tanning foam, I felt that I was happy to leave it on for 3 to 4 hours maximum, and then I would like to wash it off because that was the color that I was getting. So for this one, I left on for maybe 3 to 4 hours. However, when I found out this one needed at least 6 hours, I was a little put off by it. It seems like a really long time to leave a tan on, and I'm someone who doesn't like sleeping in tan. I can't stand it because it goes on my bed sheets. I can't stand it, so I have to do tanning throughout the day when I'm, you know, walking around and whatnot. So to have this on for 6 hours, I was just like dreading it. However, I found it was pretty easy. When I applied this, I didn't leave it on for the full 6 hours, I will admit. I took it off like after maybe 5 or 5.5 hours. I just got so sick of having tan on me, I wanted to wash it off so bad. And even so, like, I'll get into that in a second, but the tan is completely fine. So that's probably the most notable difference between these two, is the development time, which I'm assuming attributes to the darkness of this one. I'm not too sure, but that's probably the biggest difference between the two. So I think I've talked about the product enough now, so I'll focus on the outcome of the tan. So I've worn it for a couple of days, like I said at the start of the video, and I've done everything normal. I've showered, exercised, walked around, worn bras and clothes and everything. I haven't treated it special in any way. I've done it exactly how I would if I was just normally wearing a tan and not doing a review. So I'll first address the immediate results, so the immediate tan that I got after washing it off that afternoon. So I believe I washed it around 3 o'clock-ish, I can't remember the exact time, so the tan was on me for about 5 and a bit hours. Now, going in the shower and washing the guide colour off, I felt like I didn't lose too much of the colour, which is something that I feel like I do a lot of the time with other tans. I feel like as soon as I jump in and wash the developing colour off, it just kind of loses all of the colour, and I'm like, oh really? This is it? However, with the ultra dark tan, I felt like I wasn't losing too much colour. A lot of it stayed on my skin, which was really good. I was really impressed with. Now, jumping to the before and after shot, you can see that there's a massive difference between my before and after. Now, to compare the darkness between these two, so the ultra dark, I only used 1 layer. I did 1 layer only. However, to get the same colour from the dark foam, I would probably need to use at least 3 layers, possibly 4. So that's the kind of comparison between the two. So the ultra dark, you'd need 1 layer, to the dark tanning foam, which would need 3 to 4. So that's kind of the comparison between the two. And personally, I'm definitely not happy doing 3 to 4 layers of tan. I find it so uncomfortable. I did it a couple of times and it's just really sticky. I can't stand it. So the fact that I can get that dark with 1 layer versus 3 to 4 of this is really good. I love it. So now today is Friday, and this is how the tan looks. I've worn my hair up so that you can kind of see my neck and everything. So like you saw in the video, I applied it on my arms, my chest, and also my legs. Now, in terms of fading, it has faded like a tiny bit, but I am still super dark. I don't even feel like touching it up yet. That's how dark I am. So I would say it's faded like the absolute tiniest amount, and you can see like how dark I still am. So the wear of this is amazing. I don't know, it looks great. Even my hands look great. Like, they don't look super patchy and blotchy or anything. I think that this tan looks awesome if you ask me, and I'm so impressed with it. I seriously didn't think I would be this impressed, and I really am. Now, if I step back and show you my stomach, you'll be able to see the real difference. So that's my stomach there, and that's my tan. So you can really see the colour difference that this tan does for me. And that's why I like it in particular, because I can really see a difference, and it doesn't take a whole lot of work to get this kind of result. So overall, massive thumbs up for the new Bondi Sands Ultra Dark. Like I said, I didn't think I'd be this impressed. I thought it would just be kind of like a gimmick, like it's just something that's been repackaged and it's the same formula, but it's seriously, like, it is amazing. It's definitely worth a try if you are interested. Now, I know at the start of the video I did say that this one was more expensive, so this one here, for example, you'll get for $19.99 versus $24.99. Do I think the price difference is worth it? Absolutely. I would pay $30 for this. Like, it is so good. It actually makes me want to use it more just because it's so easy and so good. It's like the best tan I have ever used, seriously. If you have any questions at all, please ask them in the comments down below and I'm happy to answer anything. I think I've covered everything, but if you have any questions, ask them down below. But yeah, that's pretty much everything. So hopefully you guys enjoyed seeing this first impression review and I will see you in my next video. Bye guys.